Welcome back. In previous session, we have seen about designing a different graphical user interface controls with forms. This graphical user interface plays an important role in the web development because we have to create a colorful, interactive, and graphical interface for the user, and it should be convenient to be used by the user. And this GUI controls has to be placed on the form container, and these different controls we have seen in the previous session that were text box, text area, checkbox, radio button, drop down list, scrolling list, and push buttons. So in today's session we will see how to validate these controls. Now suppose I want to design one form having fields. First of all, we have to design a form. We have to write a form tag with action attribute and method is equal to get or post. Here, suppose I want to mention name field and I want to design a text box. So that can be designed with the input tag type is equal to text and name, suppose I am giving un, that is username. Now I want one button, two buttons of submit and reset type. Suppose input type is equal to submit, name is equal to ok, and value is equal to register. And next button we want input type is equal to reset, name is equal to cancel, value is equal to clear. End of form, end of body, and end of html. We will save this file as f1.html. We will start our XAMPP control panel and we will load our local host with HTML file that we have created. Now I want to write a code for if I enter a name ABC and if I click on register button, it should show me welcome ABC. And if that text box is empty and if I click on register button, then it should show me message that please enter a name. It means I want to validate this text box whether it is an empty or it is having a characters. I can write a validation that this text box should allow only characters, it should not allow digits in front of name type of text box. So all that validation can be done, and that code we have to write in the file which will be open after clicking on this register button. So after clicking on this register, that is submit type of button, the file will be open, that is a f2.php. So we have to write that f2.php file for all the validation. So that starts with the php tag. Now for reading value from the HTML file to our PHP file, we should know the name of our fields. Now we are supposed to retrieve whatever name will be entered by user in the text box at runtime so that we can show a message as welcome and the name of the user. So, as this form may have multiple fields, so which field value I want in my PHP code, so that can be retrieved by using this name field. I have given name to this text box as UN. So for retrieving the any field value from HTML file to PHP file, we can do that by taking data into variable. Suppose $n is equal to, here I want the name of the user, that I can retrieve by writing $_ post. If our form is having method as a post, then we can write here _post. If your form is having method as a get, we have to write $_ get. In square bracket and in single quote, mention the name of the field, which value which value you want to retrieve. So I want the name from this text box. I want the text which will be entered in this text box. So name of this text box is UN. So I will write here UN. So what it will do, it will retrieve the data from the form which is received from this post method, and the form which is received by this post method, and whether it is having the field which is having name UN. Okay, then that UN field value, means the text box value, will be taken out and that will be assigned to $n variable. Same way, our form may have multiple buttons, so we will retrieve that into a B button, and which button we want, suppose register type of button. So if the form is having register name wala button, so that button is referred with the name $B. Now when we want to show the output, it is not like when we will run HTML file and immediately we should get the output. If I have run file over here and I have not clicked anywhere on the button and still it is showing me output, that is also not valid thing. We want the processing should be done only when user has clicked the button. So how we can validate the button, so for that we have method is set. Each set in bracket give the name of button. So for us, register button is referred with the $B. So each set $B will return true if the button is clicked. So what action we want if the button is clicked? So I am writing that in the if statement. So each set $B, if it returns true, then I want to show that a message that welcome and the name of the user, and the name of the user which will be entered in the UN text box at runtime will be taken in $n variable. So I will write here $n. So we will display that over here and close the tag. Close the PHP script. We will save this file with f2.php with the same name that we have mentioned in the file, f2.php. Now we will run this file. If I enter ABC over here and if I click on register, it is showing, okay, uh, register. We have to give here, instead of caption, we have to give here the name of the button. Sorry, I have given the caption. We have to give the name of the button, and here name of the button is okay. So submit type of button is having name as a okay. Now run the file and here refresh the file. ABC register welcome ABC. Okay, so we have validated the button over here. When we got the output, only when the button has been clicked. If it is not clicked, we can write here code else echo please click the button, like this. Now we have validated button. Now I want to validate this text box for an empty string. I will display output only if the text box is not empty. So we will perform this operation when the button is clicked. So when the button is clicked, I will check whether text box is empty or not. So that can be checked by using empty function. Which field we are checking for emptiness? That is $n, because it is showing the field of text box. If it is not empty, we can modify it. If not empty, $n. If $n field is not empty, then only we can show message welcome and username. Else we can show message as please enter a name, it's not entered, or it's an empty, whatever message you want to display. Okay, save the file, see the changes, refresh it. If I enter ABC, click on register, it is showing welcome ABC. Now I am running code and I have not entered any name, and I am clicking on register, it is showing please enter a name, it's not entered. So it means I have written a code for validating an empty string. It means the text box is not an empty. Now suppose if I want to write a code for if I want to write a code for that this text box should accept only characters. So what I will do, if it is not empty, we will apply one more validation rule. If So, how we can validate the text box for characters? So, there are predefined functions available in PHP for matching it with the characters, numbers, or email. So, if you want your text box should have characters only, so that regular expression is P reg, it means perform regular expression underscore match, and the expression here we have to, that expression starts with the double quote, forward slash, and exclusive or. Here we are mentioning the pattern that we want to follow. So that pattern starts with the forward slash, exclusive or, and what we want to accept, that we are going to write in a square bracket. So what we are going to accept, only small a to z characters or capital A to Z characters, and hyphen maybe, and this quote we have given to mention these characters. Close the square bracket, and this pattern ends with the asterisk, dollar symbol, and forward slash again. The pattern is enclosed in double quotes, and where we want to apply this pattern, that we want to accept only alphabets on the $n field, and close this match match block, and close this if block over here. So if this expression matches, or this preg underscore match is the PHP predefined function which is perform regular expression match function for alphabets only. So if it matches, then only we can show echo welcome message. If it doesn't match, it means there are no alphabets, then we should give a message, please enter alphabets only. And for empty box we can mention over here, else echo it's an empty box, please enter name. and the validation we have applied. So here we have applied three validation. If button is clicked, we will check if $n means the text box is not empty, then we will apply the validation rule for matching the text field, that is $n field, with alphabets only, and if it matches then only we will show the welcome and name of user. Otherwise, if pattern doesn't match, we will show message please enter alphabets only. If button is empty, then we will show a message it is an empty box, please enter name. Save the file, run the code. Now if I am entering ABC register, it is showing welcome ABC. Refresh the code. If I am clicking on button, it is showing it is an empty box, please enter name. Now refresh the code. If I enter digits and clicking on register, it is showing please enter alphabets only. So we have applied three validations over here. Now we will go for another validation. Now suppose this form is having number and field name, everything is same, and you want the code to this text box, we want to take a for a mobile number, suppose. Okay, so for how we can validate the number, these two validations are okay, the box should not be empty. Now this number field should have only digits. So for that we have a p regular expression match function, and the pattern starts with the forward slash and exclusive or, and what we are going to accept over here, that is combination of 0 to 9 digit, and the pattern ends with the asterisk dollar and forward slash. So here we will be showing uh, okay valid number message if it is a number. Otherwise, if it is not a digit, we have to mention that please enter digits only. And if it is an if it is an empty box, we have to give a message please enter a number. Save the code, run the file. Now suppose if I enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 any number and clicking on register, it is showing OK valid number. And now refresh the code. If I enter ABC and if I am clicking on register, it is showing please enter digits only. And if it is an empty box and if I am clicking on register, it is showing it is an empty box, please enter a number. So we have applied three validations over here. So for matching digit, we have a pattern forward slash exclusive or in square bracket 0 dash 9, and the pattern ends. Now suppose as we know that mobile number is of only 10 digits. So there should not be number less than 10 digit or greater than 10 digit. So if you want to apply that rule too, so we can first of all calculate the length in L variable of this $n, because it is taken from that contact number text box. So that can be retrieved by strlen function from $n field, and length is taken in L variable. So if button is clicked, if it is not empty, and if it matches the digit pattern, then I want to check the one more condition. If length, that is $l that we have taken in $l, is greater than 10, or $l is less than 10, then we have to show message that it's invalid number. It's invalid number. and if it matches the length, if it means if the length is of 10 digits, then we can show echo valid valid number. Let's try this. Run the code. If I enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 digit number, click on register, it is showing valid number. Let's refresh the code. I am entering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Click on register, it is showing it's an invalid, means it has not accepted digits which are less than 10. Now enter the digits beyond 10 length. Click on register, it is showing it is an invalid number. Okay, so by this way we can apply the validation rule to the data which is received from the form field. Now suppose here we have email field, and we know that the email validation, the email should have the dot operator and at the rate symbol. So we have to check for email id, and which is the ready made function for validating email. So we have to just write if not filter underscore var. It is a ready-made function for checking $n, means where we have taken our email in $n variable, and there is a constant that will verify whether it is an email or not, that is filter underscore validate underscore email. So if it is not filter and not fitting in this, we have to mention it's not valid email. And if it is matching with the constraint, like it is having at the rate symbol dot, then we have to give message valid email. And let's change the rest of the thing and try the code. Refresh the code. If I enter abc at the rate gmail.com and click on register, it is showing okay. As we have enclosed many thing, there is, we have to match the brackets, match. If not, if it is not empty, we have to check this, and if it is empty, we have to message this. And if okay, we have, now we don't have this. If it is filtered email id and not valid email, else valid email. If it is one condition, we have changed for length, that is minimized, so one else block will go out from here. Save the code and run. So if I apply, enter abc at gmail.com, click register, that is valid email. Now refresh the code, abc space gmail.com, click on register, it is not valid email. If I write abc at the rate and remove the dot from email id, register, it is not valid email. So this is how we can apply the validation rule for text and empty string. First of all, this is how we can validate whether the button has been clicked or not by using each set function. We can check or validate for an empty string by using empty function. We can validate the field for alphabets or for number by using perform regular expression match function and by mentioning the pattern. And we can validate the email field by using this email function. So this was about validation rule in PHP. See you in the next session. Thank you.